Well, hey, folks. How are y'all doing tonight? Doesn't look like anybody's popped in here yet. What is it, Casper? Come here, man. You want to come up and love me? Hey. Well, you did make it, didn't you? Hey, Sheila. How are you? So, Casper Pooh, he got to get up here and get some love. I don't want any kisses in the mouth. I don't want any kisses in the mouth, man. Oh. We'll give it a minute or two and see if we can get anybody else is interested in coming in, y'all. I guess you saw my picture for tonight's video. It's not 213 out here, y'all. It was hot, but it wasn't that hot. I don't know why the TV made that mistake. Hey, Peter, there's Old Man King. If it was 213, we'd probably all be dead. My air conditioner would have been done burned up and I'd have died for sure. I finally had to turn it on. I made it to the second or third, I think it was the 3rd of June. And I finally said, the heck with that, y'all. Yeah, he's being the love bug tonight. He's being the love bug. Yep, fake news. That's supposed to be Casper. Look at TV. Look at the TV. See? Let people see you. Say, hey, y'all. Hey, I just want to say mom. I don't want to see nobody else. I'm going to put him down, y'all. Maybe he'll go on. I forgot to lock him up. I normally tell them it's bedtime and I give them a treat and they go take off to their room. And I close the door so that they can't come in here and worry us to death. They'll be in here telling me it's bedtime in a minute. I need to get them a snack. Because about 9 o'clock, boy, they know it, guys. They really know it. Let's see. We got Jesus is Lord in here. Hello. And we got Da Moose. Hey there, Da Moose 29. Let's see. Got New Horizons Above and Beyond. Hello. Hey, Avita. Avita's popped in here too, y'all. Well, did y'all go to Peter? How did the Missouri meetup go? I hope it turned out to be a good one. It looked like the wind was blowing up there. Did they have that storm come through and mess everything up? Because I know it was sure supposed to be raining here. We got rain. It poured here a couple of times. All day Friday. There's Charlene Grady. Hey, Charlene. From Cape Cod. Well, I want to go there one day and see what it looks like too, Charlene. Got a mint in my mouth, y'all. You may see me swapping it around here in a few minutes. Wasn't able to do the meetup, unfortunately. Okay. I think Peter was going to the meetup. I don't know if he did. There's Rainy Ridge. Hey, Tina. I'm assuming. Let's see. It rained during the night, Friday night. Okay, well, I could tell I think it was Saturday morning. May have been Sunday morning. I saw that they posted a video with Jan and Gail and Gail Southern Living. And heck, I don't know who the other person was. 3 women there. And they were posting something. I think it was on Gail's site. I went in and commented, said I wish I was there, but anyway. So they were real lucky if they didn't get any of that bad weather that come through, because it went all the way across, boy, it looked like. But we got it. It really rained here Friday. Thursday, it rained quite a bit too. Let's see. Jesus is the Lord, says she's thankful it's not cold. Well, I'm glad it's not super cold, guys. I can handle the cold until it gets down on my legs. My legs absolutely kill me when they get cold. But it was hot today. I was sweating every time I wasn't out there 2 minutes. We've been working on, we built the carport off of here. Well, when they graded it down, they didn't grade it down level, and I live on the side of a hill, guys. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's a huge hill out here. Well, the darn hill is letting the water run down, and it's running down under the carport right to where the steps are. There's Outdoors with Big Matt. Hello. Peter said he was only there Friday and Saturday. I hope you had a good time, Peter. It was really terrible here. Blowed like crazy. But let's see what else was going on. Yeah. Anyway, what I was getting at is we're building some new steps. We built a little like a little landing. It's about 40 inches, I guess, big enough to open the door, and you can step out of the way and open the door, blah, and go in at the back door, and putting steps and all that. But we're having to go to the back end, the other side of the carport, over there, and put in us a wall across there, because the water is not only running off of it, but it's running down the hill, and it's going right up under to the house there and puddling. So, and it's just running right through all that gravel we put down, crushing running stuff. So anyway, we're working on that today. We've been digging and all that kind of stuff. So every time I walked outside, I was sweaty, and within 5 seconds, it's just horrible. When you're trying to dig a little trench that's not but about this wide, and getting it shoveled out with one of those really long spade-like shovels. I don't know what they're called, but anyway. There's Heartland HQ, Dick and Tank. Tamara, let's see. Anyway. But yeah, we've been working on that. I guess y'all saw where I had to bush hog the back pasture. Joey helped me, and I helped him. We got most of it. We got all of it done. We still got to get this little paddock over here done. We were talking about it today. We may or may not cut it with a 0-turn mower, because it's probably a third of an acre, maybe a half acre. I don't even know. Maybe a half acre, I guess. Maybe it is. But anyway, I can raise the mower blade up on it. Probably cut it easier and faster than having to dig out the gate to open it up all the way to get the big tractor in there. I bought that darn tractor back when I was still working, and it had to have been 30 something years ago, because I was still working and had it for a long time before I ended up out of work. So but y'all, them little baby goats are so darn funny. They're crawling in and out the fence like crazy now. It is hilarious. They're darn they come through, and I told y'all about how they come and got Joey a couple of times. So today they were out there, and Joey says, you might go check and see if the mama's stuck in the fence, because there's 3 of them standing out here in the backyard. Well, they had discovered one of these work tables right by the faucet out here, and it has a bottom shelf on it, and they were climbing and jumping up and down off of that shelf. They just found that was a new toy for them. They were having them a good old time. I guess the other one was gone off with mom. I don't know, but it was just hilarious, because it was 3 of them out there just having them a good old time. And I have been working sewing a baby blanket. Actually, I had some leftover material, guys. It has little sailboats and little trucks and all that kind of like block looking prints all over it, and it's got like a quilt pattern, but each one of these is it was a material. So anyway, I'm lining it with the quilting stuff, and then I'm just sewing down it by hand, to make a little blanket for the little fella when he gets here. Let's see. There's Wanda Henry. Hi, Wanda. And so we've been working on that thing. Well, I've been working on it in the afternoons and evenings while I'm listening to I listen to my stories. I listen to 3 or 4 books on tape that are being read, and you listen to so many of them, so many chapters a day. I think it releases 3 or 4 chapters a day, and you listen to it. And so anyway, I'm listening about 3 of them. And so while I've been sewing, I've been listening to that. And what else is going on around here? Y'all, I'm getting cucumbers. Haven't gotten any big enough to pick yet, but I'm gonna have to find some more recipes for cucumbers. Somebody was saying I needed to ferment some cucumbers, and I've not done any fermenting. So if you guys have any fermenting recipes, post them or send them to me on my email, because I really need to figure out some new ideas. I want to put up a bunch of regular sweet pickles and deals, but I don't want to put up, so much that we won't eat them. I might put up quite a few sweet pickles, bread and butter pickles or whatever during the summer. But if you got any really outstanding videos or ideas of things to make with cucumbers, y'all let me know. I know you can make the little cucumber sandwiches with, crackers and mayonnaise and cucumber and dang, can't remember what else. But anyway, and you make tzatziki sauce, but that's not good unless you got something good to go with it, So anyway, so if you guys have any cucumber recipes, y'all send them to me or text the name of them, and maybe I can look them up. Other than that, we have been digging out there at the back. We're going to put about a 40-inch wall across the back side of the property. The back side of this carport, so that whenever the water comes down, it'll hit that wall and have to go out on each side. Now, I don't know what we're going to do as far as the rest. When it gets from there, it's just going to run back around. So we got to figure out from there what we're going to do out. And we're either going to make a berm, build up a berm right there, or put maybe some landscaping timbers on each side or something, just to make the water go on out, away from that. And have to research, and you've never fermented it either. Yeah, I really need to find some recipes on fermenting and all that. So I don't have a clue, guys, but I think it would be interesting. Oh, cucumber salad. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good one. I'll have to remember that one. Yeah, I know, I like just slice a cucumber and eat it. And I also like olives. Take a mayonnaise and put it on a soda cracker. A little bit of mayonnaise and put a piece of cheese and maybe an olive or just whatever, and then just eat soda cracker like that. I'm weird, I know. People do weird stuff, and I'm one of those weird people. Yeah. Let's see. Yep. So we've been piddling around here. Lightning has been running around like a maniac out there. He's just been having a field day. I don't know what in the world's got into him. He's acting like he's 15 or 10 again, or 3 again. That's my horse. I don't know what's got up his butt. He's buzzing around out there like he's a 2-year-old or something, and still a colt. So he's been laughing, making us laugh out there. We'll be sitting out in the evenings down at Joey and them all sit in the swing on the weekends, and he'll have company. And my kids will come over, and there'll be just a pile of us sitting out there around the swing. I thought about videoing it, but sometimes there's some words that are said that YouTube kind of frowns on. So probably wouldn't give you a real good idea to video one of those. Because we just carry on and cut up, and some will be drinking and some won't be drinking, and it's just their thing. Whatever's going on, we talking about and teasing the kids about different things. And my oldest grandson turned 21 today. So his mom and them took him out to eat, and he ordered him a whiskey. I don't know how it went, but she said he's having his first legal drink of alcohol. Now, I know he has drank a beer too, and he's drank just sips of different stuff. When his dad Chris being in the military, when they have those awards and all that, the guys that work under him, a lot of times will give him bottles of high dollar whiskey. And so usually he don't get them out unless they've got company, but sometimes Jacob will taste it and stuff. But as far as drinking a lot, Jacob's never been a big drinker, thank God. Let's hope he never starts. Mm. Mm. Several videos. I'll have to remember that. Joyce Morris Patch. Oh, Heaven Homestead. I'm going to write that down right quick. All right. They don't do live from Jen and Kevin. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if he'll watch this video, but if he does, it's his birthday. He's 21. They took him out, and I was thinking for some reason, I was thinking his birthday wasn't until Friday, so he didn't get nothing from me, guys. Except I sent him a happy birthday a while ago when we realized it was his birthday, so he'll get something Friday. I'm old. I have an excuse. I said, well, I'm just old, honey. I can't remember nothing. I really can't remember nothing. And I had it wrote down on the calendar as Friday. I don't know. Maybe I looked at the wrong date the wrong whatever, because Friday and Monday are completely different sides of the calendar. So I couldn't have claimed I was on the wrong month and wrote it down. I don't know what I did. Just dingbat, y'all. Just a dingbat. Anyhow, but it's not like it's the first time. Especially Jacob and Riley. I get those mixed up all the time. Now, it's easy to keep up with the girls because they're all right there. Lizzie and Victoria both, they're right there together. And then Madison and Haley are right there together. And that's what's so weird, I don't know. Usually I kept up with Jacob's real good, but this year I didn't anyway. Let's see. Yep. We've been piddling around here trying to get a little bit of stuff done and working on those steps. Joey and my buddy, we call him No Good. His name is Norgood. That's his last name, Norgood. But we shortened it to No Good. About years and years ago, it stuck. We still call him No Good. But anyhow, so he came up and him and Joey worked on the steps Saturday, almost all day after it quit raining. It rained here. They had to dig holes. We were going to rent one of those 2-man post hole diggers because this ground here is so doggone hard. But they finally decided, no, we'll just dig them. So, but this ground, boy, they had to have one of those jabbing poles to try to get through it and everything. It's like hard baked clay or something. I don't know. We didn't be on top of this hill till you got rocks and stuff in it. You know how that goes. Chow chow. Yep. Well, and I make chow chow, but I usually make cabbage chow chow. And a friend of mine makes peach chow chow. So I was kind of hoping if I got any of that. Need to make Italian chow chow. Oh, okay. I've not tried to do that, but chow chow would probably be real good made with cucumber. Wait said she would love to come see us. She's afraid we'll put her to work. Well, when you gonna bring those grandkids up to see all the animals, that needs to be pretty soon while school is out. We procrastinate a lot, and we love to wait around here till it's all over with. I asked Wait today if they had the pool ready down there because I may have to go get in it. They still got a pool. Now I'm not one to sit around in the pool, so I was just teasing her about that. But I imagine it would feel real good right now, especially with it as hot as it was today. It was sweltering, in fact, Joey's back, his pants were wet, and I said, "What have you done? Sat down in your britches has got a big stain on the back of them. And he said, what? And I said, right there on the back on your right side of your butt. And he said, that's sweat. I said, oh. And I looked around, he had it down his legs and on his knees too. So he was sweating so much it was dripping through his clothes, y'all. That's how bad it was here. Yep. So way it's looking, we're gonna have a ton of cucumbers. And so I'm looking forward to doing some more, because I think I've got maybe one more jar of sweet pickles that I made. So got to get busy on those. But yeah, I hadn't thought about a cucumber. I usually make a cabbage chow chow, guys. And I've made a green tomato chow chow. And that's really good. I don't know if you guys have ever tried that. But, and I've seen chow chow made with pears too. And I've not tried that. So that might be something to check into. Especially you get those the hard pears, not the, what are the Bartlett pears, the harder ones. I've got a tree out here that's got quite a few pears on it. So I was thinking I may try that this year, guys. So if you got any pear recipes besides just putting up canned pears, because I love canned pears too. I'll make pear preserves and just regular pears that I'll put up, not cook real hard, but put them up for like, put them up for, you know, to make pies or just to eat when you're just wanting something. And you can always cook them down later. And any extra juices that I have, I always save when I dipped all my pears out. And I've still got juice in there. Sometimes I'll add some extra sugar and cook it down. And then we have pear syrup. And if you've never had any pear syrup, guys, you ought to have some. It is absolutely delicious. Everybody here at our house loves pear syrup. My grandson, every time he comes, he wants me to send him a jar back with him. So he's about dripped me. And that's just like my oldest granddaughter, Madison, gets my honey. And she puts it on her face because she has really bad acne. And for some reason, the honey helps to clear her acne up. So anyway, you know, it's an astringent and it's also an antibacterial, guys. And so anyway, she's about bled me all my honey out over the last year or two. So I've either got to get some more bees or get a friend that lives right around here and buy some honey up, y'all. A couple of gallons maybe. For around my own house. Oh, bread and butter pickles are her favorite. Yeah, I love bread and butter pickles too. And Joey likes it too. Yeah, bread and butter pickles are really good. We have a regular sweet pickle, and I make an old-timey sweet pickle. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but it's made, you have to wash the pickles in lime, and you wash them, and put them back up, you wash them, and I mean, it's a several day thing that goes on before you ever put those pickles up, and it makes them super crispy and so sweet, y'all. But that's, you pack them, I don't know what it is, and you would think it would, the lime, but it does not affect it. And you know, then nowadays they have a little tablet that you can drop in with your pickles that'll make them stay crispy, instead of having to go through all that stuff. And I've tried those. Those are pretty doggone good, guys, that you can use those with. I need to go check her pear tree. Yeah. We got a lot of pears this year. If they all stay on and the animals don't get in them, so far they look really good. Now, some of my apricots have got some bad spots on them, and I'm hoping it's just where wasps and things have stung them. I hope the whatever it is that's on my plums has not migrated over to my pear trees and my my peach tree and apricot tree. But anyway, we'll have to see. I hadn't even checked the tree down the hill, the little small tree down the hill here. But I found a Japanese persimmon. It's a Fuji persimmon. And I don't know if you guys know, but it looks about the size of a medium-sized apple. And they're persimmons. They have the same seed in them like the regular wild persimmon that grows around here everywhere. They're persimmons. But they don't get any bigger than they do in the little small persimmon. And that way you get a lot more persimmon meat. But I've been looking at those, and the only one that I found around here is $80 for that tree. I said, holy cow, I just can't seem to make myself want to spend $80 for a tree. So I may have to get a friend that lives in Florida to bring me some when they come back up this way. I made cinnamon rings out of pears using Red Hots, vinegar, sugar, pickling salt, and remember, lost the recipe in 2011. That sounds really good. That sounds super good. We need to try to find a recipe like that, guys. You know, my grandmother used to have those old, well, she used to put it in her butter crock, in her you know, the churn, the old butter churn. And she had a lid that didn't have the hole in the center of it. She had the lid with the hole for the churn. And then she had lids that would fit the crocks, the bottom of the churn, the bottom of the old churn that did not have a hole in it. And she had little weighted ceramic weights or whatever. They were really heavy weights too that she would put down in there to hold things that she did. But I was never around when she did any of that kind of stuff other than the lime pickles. And I remember plenty of times doing them. And I remember cutting corn off the cob and cooking corn forever. And you got to stand right there and stir that stuff to keep it from sticking when you're doing cream corn, guys. And then you had to put it in bags. And then you had to wait on it to cool off before you put it in the freezer or put it in jars or whatever. Boy, those were the days. I'm going to have to figure out how to do that and figure out that recipe, though, Tamara. That sounds really good. I have seen a recipe. I've seen them, and I think I bought them, but I'm not sure if I have. But that sounds good. Did you cut them and cut the core out of the pears and then just slice them like this and put them in there, or? I bet that I bet I've seen them in jars too, but I don't know if that's how they made those. Let's see, it does sound really good, doesn't it, guys? See if I can find a recipe on that somewhere. But yeah, we did a lot of canning. We were always canning green beans, tomatoes, early peas, butter beans, pintos, speckled butter beans, the big white limas, the little navy beans, any kind of beans that grew, boy, we were canning them suckers. Any kind of fruit around here that grew. And did y'all know that you can actually follow the kudzu vine and you can eat the rhizome? It's like a potato at the end of where the actual vine goes into the ground. Now I'm talking about the main vine, not where it's laid on the ground and rooted to. You have to find where the main stalk comes up out of the ground. So you got to find a place and dig it down. But you can make that stuff into flour. You can make it into, just take it and put it in the oven and bake it. Clean it good, of course, and put it in the oven and bake it like a baked potato. I mean, there's so many things you can do with that. It's just unreal. People don't think about all the foods that are out there that we can eat. I went the other day and I got me a whole ton of famosa. I don't know if you guys know what a famosa tree is. Not a mimosa, a famosa. Famosa is, it's got little tiny leaves that come out, and they're kind of like a wedge, and it's a bunch of little leaves on them, and they have these pink flowers on them, pink little fuzzy flowers on them. Well, anyway, I picked a whole ton of those, and I've got them soaking in my vodka mix, and they're really good for ladies that are going through hormonal changes, or young girls that are starting out their hormonal changes. It tends to balance out your hormones, for one thing. I don't know if anybody else knows about that, but that's something goes on. So I picked a lot of those things, but they're really just good for you. They are also antibacterial and astringent, very good for cleaning wounds and that kind of stuff. People don't think about stuff like that anymore. There's so many things out there that grow that I just wish that I could remember all the things that I was taught as a kid. Now, I've tried them. The cattails, if you pick them while they're still just shooting up, you're supposed to be able to eat those, and you can eat them raw, but they're not as good as if you put them in saute them or something. And I guess anytime you saute something in butter, it's bound to be better, right? But did you know that people used to take oh, that would be a great idea. Thank you so much. This recipe came out of Grandma Kerr canning book. Okay, I don't think I have that canning book, but I'll have to see if I can find the recipe. I'm gonna write that down too while I'm at it. Might be on line somewhere. Hopefully it will be. That would be really good, guys. Let's see. I hope I didn't miss anything else. I'm running my mouth over here. But you know, back years and years, back centuries ago, I guess, they used to take the cattails when they done fuzzed all the way out, and they'd pick all that fuzz and you'd save it. And they would actually make batting for pillows and to line the inside of clothes to make them warmer. I don't know if you guys know about that kind of stuff, but that's something that the old people did too, other than just having cotton. You know, when you did not have the cotton, people would go out around and pull that kind of stuff. It's more of an Indian, as far as I know, thing that Indian folks did. My family knew quite a few, and my grandmother did. So those, let's see, a lady here selling fresh out of cream corn for $10 a quart. Oh man, I thought of how much work she put into growing and picking and cleaning. You ain't kidding. That is a lot of work. When I was a kid, we cut my uncle planted. Gosh, I couldn't even tell you how much corn. It had to be several acres of corn. We had pickup truck loads of just shelled corn, or not even shelled, just corn that was. We would just throw it in the back of the pickup truck, and we would pick it and lay it on the outside, and we'd dump the bags in the back of the pickup truck, and then it would go to the house, and then we'd have to go up there and we'd shell it. And my mother and my grandmother would end up cooking the stuff, and didn't have no air conditioning in the house, and my grandmama didn't like cooking on electric stove, but my mama would be cooking on the electric stove, and my grandmama would be cooking on the old wood cook stove, guys. So it had to be in 120 degrees in this house, and that was back in the day, back when I was a child. So I can't even imagine how hot it must have been for them. But then ain't no way she'd put a fan in the window either, especially if she was going to can anything. She says it might break my jars, which I guess, if it's cold enough, it might. My air conditioner's staying on when I'm canning. It might get hotter in here, even if I had that fan on going out. I got to have that air conditioner, guys. I have draped a warm cloth around them, though, for when I first pull them out so that the air conditioner doesn't blow that way and hit them, cool them off too quick or whatever. Oh, gosh, I can't even imagine. $10 a quart. Yeah, that poor lady done worked herself to death unless she had lots of help. Mm. Mm. Wow. But yeah, when I was a kid, my grandmother had it stacked. She would put it in our smokehouse. Granddaddy had meat and stuff that he smoked out there too, hogs and stuff. But now Nanny had the boxes, and she had them. A lot of times she'd have just old liquor boxes, that Granddaddy picked up or whatever, or any kind of boxes that she could find. And she'd wrap all those jars up after she got them canned, and she'd wrap them with newspaper or whatever kind of paper she could, and she'd wrap them 2 or 3 times, and she'd pack them down in those jars, the boxes, and then label them and put them out there. And I'm talking about, we ate out of that smokehouse forever after my grandmother passed away. We still had food in there. Yeah. I remember those days. Women worked a whole lot harder than they do nowadays, guys. Of course, that housework, doing that kind of stuff is very tiring, especially back in those days. But I guess you were used to that heat. So it didn't bother you so much for the house to be 20 degrees hotter in there because you were used to it being 90 in the house if it was 95 outside, or maybe 98 in the house if it was 95 outside, when you didn't have air. So I don't know. Let's see. Yes, there's a fella here that lives over in Alabama that has a big video, and he has like 600 and something thousand subscribers. And he is always doing foraging videos of things that are right around here in Georgia, in the southeastern area here. So that is very good. There's Christy Betts. Hey, Christy. How are you, honey? I hope you're doing good. I hope you're not burning up there. Christy still lives in her camper, as far as I know. Got her big old dogs there. But yeah, those were the days, guys. Those were the days. The ladies, my grandmama worked in the cotton mill. And she always said, honey, whatever you do, don't get a job in the cotton mill. You'll be stuck there the rest of your life. And I guess, that's what happened to her. She worked in the cotton mill and come home and picked cotton. And then she had to cook and look after the kids. And, she only had 2 children. But now Grandmama Brandy's side, oh, Lord, she had 12 children. I can't even imagine thinking about 12 kids, y'all. I had 6 girls that I had custody of 6 girls at one time, guys. And that was horrible. if you can't imagine, and them being so close in age, they were jealous of one another, and some of them, being foster kids, they were very mischievous and into things that they ought not have been. So you know how that goes. I found out you can use apples or pears. Oh yeah. Now I've had the apples. Let's see. Okay, that is great. Yes, do that. I don't know if you guys can post on my community page, but if you can, you could do it that way, because I try to watch what stuff is posted on there. Or just send it to me on an email or something. That would be wonderful. Yeah, I've saw the apples. I've seen the apples, so I'll have to look that one up. Did I miss something? I see somebody said Teresa in Western Kentucky. That's Teresa, don't it? Yeah, Teresa. Who is Teresa? Did I miss something, guys? Yeah, I always wondered how my grandmother survived. I guess, back then, if you didn't, you had to be tough. That's wonderful, wonderful. I'm so excited. Wonderful. Let's see. I'm going back and looking. Close the windows in the kitchen. Yep, I did miss some. Yep, that's what I'm saying. Those, you just didn't want any air blowing through there. That's why I always bunch up some towels and put them around where I'm setting them on. Take them out and set them on a couple of towels on top of the counter, and then I'll bunch up towels around them to kind of keep the heat in and let them do real slow. Or else I'll just open up the canner, especially if I'm doing a water bath canner. I'll just open it up and cut it off and move it off the eye and just let it sit there and let them cool down real slow. They'll still seal the same way, and that way when you take it out, you don't have to worry about it. I have had them bust putting them in the canner when the water was already hot, and I realized I'd left a jar out. I've had one to bust. So I hate when that happens, y'all. Because then you got a mess. You have to start all over. Because you got glass down in the bottom of your canner when the jar busts and all kinds of whatever was in that jar. Anyway, let's see. Oh, it's $10 a quart. I thought it was see there, I can't see good without my glasses. I still don't see. Jesus Lord. Teresa at okay, Teresa, Stringfield Ridge Farm has videos on foraging. Okay. I don't guess I've ever seen that, her. Teresa's in Western Kentucky. Okay, she says she's going to make a post and tag me in it. Okay. And now I'm back down to the bottom again. Okay. I have reading just I have to have reading glasses. Can't read small print. Yeah, that's me. Now I can see out there. But like this print on here, even though it's a good ways apart away and I have to look at it, sometimes I can see them real clear and other times I can't see them. They just kind of fade in. So if they're real bright, I can see them. If the print itself is dark, I can see them. And then sometimes I can't see it. It'll be the same size writing, but it'll be more of a grayish color. And I can't distinguish some of the things there. Cinnamon sticks versus red hots for color. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the red hots. Now, I've seen several recipes where they use the red hots and it leaves that little bit of a tang taste to it too, you know, from the red hot. I love red hots, guys. I love them. Used to get the little bitty boxes of them, and I was always forever eating them. Having one, I'd have them in my purse. I'd be going down the road, pulling them out, putting one in my mouth. And like you would mints, I'd have them for just the taste of the red hots, guys. I could read anything if my arms were long enough. If I could hold mine in my feet, I could probably read it too, guys. No, that goes. I've done this before. Yes, I did. This eye, I had the surgery on this eye, and it has cleared up pretty doggone good. I've still got just a little bit of kind of fuzz in there, but it's clear. When I first had it done, it was just, I knew stuff was out there. I could see still perfectly with this eye, but the one that they did the surgery on, you couldn't see good. I mean, you knew shadows and outlines and stuff like that, but as being able to distinguish exactly what it was, I would hate to know I had to drive and both eyes be like that. They say that's how it is with people that are legally blind a lot of times. So, cinnamon oil from the pharmacy and make her own cinnamon sticks. Hey, I've never heard of that, but that sounds really interesting. Have to check into that, girl. You'll have to tell us how you did that. I'm bad about going to the Dollar Tree and buying me those little peppermints, and I'll get one of them and pop it in my mouth when I walk by. I have them in a coffee cup sitting on the counter. Of course, everything's sitting on the counter in my house. It's packed. I can't help it, y'all. I'm just a clutterer. Yes, I'm real proud that it cleared up. Now, I had surgery on this eye, the same eye that I've had to have this last laser work on. I had it done when I was back in, probably in I was about 34, maybe, and I had that laser eye surgery, correct the vision in this left eye. I couldn't see anything, y'all. I couldn't see anything, just light. I mean, I could see just a blur, but no, I mean, I couldn't make out any kind of shapes, nothing. For 6 weeks. It took it 6 weeks to clear up. I thought I had absolutely ruined my eyesight. So I refused to have the right one done. When this one was so bad, I was supposed to wait back the next day and had the other one done. I said, oh, no, I am not having to. No, it wasn't the next day. It was the next week. I was supposed to have gone back and had the other one done. I said, no, I was so proud I just had one done. So if I'd have had both of them done, I'd have been flat on my butt. I'd have been walking around like this everywhere for 6 weeks, guys. Let's see. They don't. Oh, you had to request it. Huh. I didn't know. You can buy cinnamon oil now, but I didn't know you had to request it. Maybe you did back then. Yeah, it was super scary, guys. I just know that I had messed up. And that's when they figured out there was something going on. And that's when they finally went to running. I kept telling them, I'm getting sick and that things would happen. And they just said, oh, you're just overworked. You got all those kids living there. You got too much going on in your life. You need to slow down, take some days off, relax, all that crap. I was just stressed, and that was what was making me sick. Well, I wasn't stressed, doggone it. After a while, and something's wrong, but they keep telling you that it ain't, you just want to say, but anyway, that's when they figured out there was really something wrong, because that doctor said, you should be able to say what I did is perfect. So then he contacted my regular doctor and told them they need to start running some more tests, for autoimmune diseases. And that's when they finally figured out that I had the lupus. That was in the early 70s, and I guess people were 5-figure discounting the price. Yeah, I'd imagine. And those oils are not cheap, guys. They are not cheap. Well, 5-finger discount has been going on for years and years and years, folks. So it's not something that just started. That's been going on since the beginning of time. But yeah, the stuff, I'm ready to start doing some canning. And I've even thought about going to the farmer's market and buying just a couple of bushels of some seconds tomatoes or whatever it is, the ones that are like bruised or whatever, because I could do some canning of the ones that are like that. I know that they sell them by the case that are bruised or damaged or got a bug bite or whatever on them. They don't call them, perfect. And you should be able to buy them like that. Now, I've also done watermelon rind pickles. I don't know if you guys have ever had any watermelon rind pickles, but they're really good. Anyway. They like to tell women that in the old days, yeah, in all the days, they still do it, honey. It ain't been all in just in the old days. Wanted my mom to see a psychiatrist when hers was actually an autoimmune disease. Yep. People, I've told people, that sometimes when it does flare up, I will ache all over that. It feels like even my hair aches. And I know that's crazy, because your hair is like your fingernails. It's dead. There's nothing in there. You know what I'm saying? There's no stem cells or nerve endings or nothing there. But it's there. Believe me. Yeah, I'm hoping to make some watermelon pickles this year too. I have not planted any watermelons though. I've only got so many beds. And my bed that I usually put my potatoes in, I cleaned it out, got it ready to plant, and then doggone it if it didn't grow right back. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. It's got some kind of grass that I guess it comes back from the root or something. It's driving me nuts for trying to keep it cleaned out of there. I've even thought about doing a misting spray of something on top that would kill it, that won't go all the way down and ruin the soil. Like maybe some sea salt or something that I've watered down and spray it to where it'll kill it all the way down to the root, but it won't damage the soil around the plant. And then come back and plow all that under, and then try it, or hack it all up and pull it up or whatever, and try to get those beds to where I can use it again. Because even when I had my cucumbers in there, I was constantly having to pull weeds, and I know when you've got a garden, you're going to grow weeds. That's just all there is to it. But I mean, this is a coarse, light grass that's in it. And it probably came from, I had a landscaping company bring me a big truckload of dirt. And part of this dirt came out of some creek bed somewhere. And so I have a feeling that it's some kind of coarse grass that grows around creeks or something, and maybe it's just got that. Try boiling water. I'll try that. Hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I got to do something to try to get that bed. Every time I've cleaned it out twice this year, and already I've got stuff back in it, And the one that I've got my squash and my English cucumbers in is the same way. So, but my regular pickling cucumbers doesn't have any weeds in it or anything like that. Let's see. Digging up garden beds by hand, and it is slow going. Well, I never had a whole lot of luck with those growing bags because they dry out so darn quick. Now, I've been told that if I rake up straw and pack it around them or in between the bags and all, that it won't dry out so quick. And to put it on top of the growing bags, once your plant starts growing in them. But yeah, you can't. Nowadays, it is so expensive to go to town and just buy bags of potting soil or dirt. Man, you'd really have problems if you tried to buy a whole lot of dirt like that just to grow regular garden in there. Crabgrass. But I've got a grass around here that has little, it's not cockleburrs, but it has little, maybe it's sand spurs. It's not sand. I don't know what it is, but it gets so hard that it'll actually stick through your shoes, especially like those Uggs and stuff like that. And man, I'm telling you, but now a few years ago, I saw it in there. We get a Georgia Market Bulletin, and I saw a article about it that someone had posted to use a certain chemical to get rid of it. And so I've got that. And so I sprayed my front yard and the little side right here at the back door where we used to go out and get in the car. So if I had enough of that stuff, I would put it in a sprayer and just go over this whole property and try to get it killed off. But you have to spray it in early spring when that stuff first starts coming out. Yeah, exactly. Oh. Diagnosed with Crohn's. Yep, getting them to diagnose you. Nobody wants to listen to you when you tell. I guess they think we're exaggerating or just women being, I don't know. Exactly. Anytime you go to the doctor, they think you're after the drugs now if you ask for anything for pain or whatever. In fact, when we were at the hospital, I swear, Joey tore the tendon that runs across the top of your knee one day. And I took him to the Houston Clinic Hospital. They have a hospital down there. And Jack Houston Hospital in Columbus. And I took him down there to the hospital because the doctor that did surgery, his knee surgery on his other knee, was in surgery then. And I figured, well, when he gets through with his surgery, he can come down there and look at it. Well, he came down, but while we were in there waiting, a woman came in and they just more or less were cruel to her. And I was thinking, holy cow. And they said, she's just a drug addict. How do you know she's just a drug addict? How do you know? I mean, unless the same woman's been in there a bunch of times wanting drugs, I don't know. All in your head. Yep. I've been told that too. Bless your heart. Went from 150 pounds to 89 pounds. They probably thought you was really on drugs then, right? You was doing something you shouldn't be doing. Yeah, that's the way my daughter did. She went, I was scared to death about her, guys. But anyway. Well, guys, we hadn't got but about 5 more minutes. So I guess I better get out of here. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all coming in tonight. And as always, be nice to people because we don't know what's going on. People are so crazy nowadays. We had 2 people killed right here in LaGrange just yesterday or the day before. Bunch of teenagers, just teenagers. There's one of them was 21, and I don't know how the other one was. They did not list him. Now, the one that was 21 died after he got to the hospital, but there were 6 other people shot. And it's just crazy. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But he looked like a crazy. People are just crazy, and when they're not crazy, they're just slap out mean. So, you know, I try just to look at people and think in my head that they're crazy and not visually say, you know, you guys are being idiots or making idiots out of yourself when they do stupid stuff. But, you know, I've done it myself a couple of times in my life. So, you know, like I say, we don't know what they're going through, you know, what their life might be like. So let's try to be nice to people where they're nice to us, because it'll come around and bite them what they're doing will. Chrissy said she doesn't even want to be seen in public because people are so nuts. I can understand that. I got to where I hardly ever go anywhere by myself now. I mean, it's not that I'm scared to go anywhere by myself. It's just, you just don't know nowadays. And sure, I don't want to be out after dark, guys. I'm going to try to work on more videos and live streams this week. Hopefully, really need the watch hours. Okay. Guys, thanks everybody for coming in tonight. We'll see y'all again next week. We've got about 2 minutes left, so I don't want to keep going and then run over. Okay. Well, I hate that. But tell y'all all good night and how much I appreciate y'all coming in, and thank you so much for supporting my channel, because I couldn't do any of this if it weren't for you guys. And I enjoy it. Enjoy the back and forth, and I wish I had more people that would come in, but I guess that comes with time. And you guys that come in and watch all my videos and leave comments on my videos, I want to thank y'all so much. It makes me feel so good. And I appreciate it, y'all. I really do appreciate it. And I hope that y'all will have a good week this week. Hope the weather will be good for you. And, you know, I'm not complaining about the rain we've been getting, because we're going to wish we had it come about August when it's 100 degrees here, really. And it's no water in sight and everything's drying up. So we will holler at y'all later. We'll see y'all. Y'all be sweet. Love you guys. Toodaloo. Get this thing cut off here.